will now be recorded.
Hi guys, good evening. Let me try to continue today's session. So before we try to work out with the new concepts today, so first let me try to give a recap of what all things I was trying to put down in my last class, and from there I'm going to be continuing today's session. So yesterday I was trying to basically talk about this particular tool called as SAP, why companies are going to be using it, what is the reason behind it. Okay, so we name SAP as an ERP tool where companies business will be using this particular application for three major reasons: for recording day-to-day transactions, for master data maintenance, for report generations, and for data analysis. And in SAP, we are trying to get trained on sales and distribution module over here. And I was trying to talk about this SD, where sales is going to be responsible for selling the products of the business, and distribution is going to be handling all the activities which is required for delivery. And I was trying to list out what exactly we are going to be covering as part of this particular training program. So you're going to be getting trained on three areas: order management, delivery processing, billing activities. And apart from that, there are a lot of things what I was trying to put down. So I'm going to be teaching you number of business process, number of business scenarios. We are going to be dealing with the pricing, along with that cross-module integration as well. Now, when we try to talk about this cross-module integration, so we are going to be studying how sales is going to be working out with different departments of the how SD is going to be working with material management, how sales is going to be working with LE, with FICO, with production. And apart from that, we are going to be having two technical modules as well, where we try to learn how sales is going to be interacting with ABAP and BASIS. And once we have this particular knowledge, we are going to be dealing with project orientation. We are going to be dealing with project orientation, where in this particular project orientation, I'm going to be explaining what exactly as a consultant we are going to be performing it. So I was giving a brief understanding about this particular course pattern, what I'm going to be doing it now. Now, in today's session, I'm just trying to introduce a few more things. So before we try to get into SAP application, first thing I wanted to discuss more about this particular thing. What is going to be the job role? Job role of SAP consultant. That's going to be one thing which I wanted to talk about. What is the job role of SAP consultant? What exactly we are going to be doing it? And what is going to be job role of SAP end users? Okay. So what is going to be the job role of consultant? What is going to be the job role of end users? We are going to be studying that particular thing over here. Okay. Now, let me try to put down a few more things. When you're trying to work on SAP, you're going to be having two screens to work. One, we are going to be calling it as front-end application. And second, we call it as back-end application. One, we name it as front-end, second, back-end. So you need to know the exact difference, what activities are going to be performed on the front-end and back-end. So front-end, we try to basically work over here, recording of day-to-day transactions. So whatever transactions are carried out in the business, we try to put down that on the front-end application of SAP. Record day-to-day transactions. So example of that would be master data maintenance, transaction data maintenance, execution of reports. These are all going to be part of front-end activities. Daily job role. Now, if you want to maintain master data, if you want to maintain transaction data, if you want to run the reports on SAP from backend, we are going to be building the software. We try to build SAP application on the backend. The entire system setup, development, designing is going to be performed from the backend. Okay, so here we are not going to be using the term called as develop. Here we are going to be using a term called as build. We are going to be using the term called as build in SAP, where this build is nothing but we try to use standard solution what SAP has provided to map the business requirement. In case if there is no standard solution, we are going to be designing a solution. We try to call it as a custom solution. Okay. So backend is a place where we try to build the application based on the business requirement. How business want to use SAP application according to their needs, we try to set up the system from the backend. So please remember this one. This is a place where the entire designing development activities are going to be performed. Front end, we just try to use this application for recording of master data, transaction data, and execution of reports. Now, who will be working where? So people who work on the backend application will be given a designation called as consultants. People who work on backend application will be given a designation called as consultants. So this is one thing you need to know. And people who are going to be working on the front end application, we name them as end users. Okay. You're going to be finding end users working on the front end application. Backend is going to be under the control of consultants. Now, how this particular training program has been designed for you people. You're going to be getting trained on both the screens. You're going to be getting on backend application and you're going to be getting trained on front-end application as well. So first, we try to build the application from the backend. We try to perform testing on the front end to check whatever developments we have designed, built is working properly on the front end. So there are going to be a lot of things we are going to be checking it out. And once we're done with the course, you can apply for two positions. You can apply for SAP consultant position, or you can look for end user job role as well. Okay, but the pay for end user job role is going to be very less when compared to a consultant job. Consultants are going to be paid very high when compared to an end user, because end user job role is very limited. They just sit in front of the SAP system and they try to feed the data. That's it. Whereas consultant is the one who will be working on the back end, who will be responsible for building the application. Okay, so consultants are going to be the one who will be working on the back end. End users are the one who will be working on the front end. So we are going to be responsible for building the software. So how business want to use SAP according to their needs, we try to set up the system. Please remember that. Now, I'm going to be giving you a walkthrough of SAP application today. So how you are going to be logging into the system, what are the screens we are going to be having, how we try to work on it. Now, if you want to work on SAP system, I'm naming it as SAP System Navigation. I'm calling it as SAP System Navigation. So how you are going to be working on SAP application. First thing, you need to make sure if you want to work on SAP, we need to make sure we need to deploy SAP System Landscape. SAP System Landscape need to be deployed. So in the real time, you're going to be given access to work on 3 different servers. One, we call it as development server. Second, quality server. And third, we call it as production server. So in the real time, you're going to be having access to work with 3 different servers: development server, quality server, production server. What exactly happens in each and every server? When we talk about development server, this is a place where we try to build the application. We try to do all the development under development server. We build SAP application based on business requirements. Okay. So please remember, in development server, you're going to be building the application. In quality server, user training is going to be performed. We train the end users how to work on SAP for recording master data, transaction data, and execution of reports. And apart from that, UAT is going to be performed. So this UAT stands for user acceptance testing. So business is going to be testing the software. Okay, because business is the one who will be giving us the data, what need to be mapped up. So business will be checking whether all requirements has been fully built or not in the system. So this is what is going to be happening in the quality server. So please remember, in the quality server, user training will be done and UAT testing is going to be performed. And we have third one, production server. In this particular production server, live transactions are going to be recorded. Business will be using SAP application for recording live transactions. So that is the reason in the real time, you're going to be having 3 different servers to work. Development server, quality server, production server. Now, who will be responsible to set up this particular system infrastructure? We call this one as SAP system infrastructure. And this SAP system infrastructure is going to be maintained by SAP basis team. They need to establish this entire systems. So basis team is the one who will be taking care of that. So they play a very important role in a project basis, because they are going to be the one who will be responsible for SAP software installation. They are going to be responsible SAP software installation. They are going to be responsible for server maintenance. Okay, so if you're not able to log into the server or servers are down, basis is the one who will be fixing it up. And they are also going to be responsible for data transportation. So if you want to move the data from one server to another server, basis is the one who will be doing that job, data transportation. And apart from that, user authorizations will be handled by the basis team. To which user, what screen access need to be provided, what screen access need to be removed, that is going to be handled by the basis. So basis play a very important role in a project. So they are going to be the one who will be establishing the system. Okay. Now, once they establish the system, once they generate your username and the password to log in, now we start working on it. The first thing you need to make sure in your work machines, let it be your laptop or desktop, we need to make sure SAP logon pad or SAP GUI need to be installed. Okay. And we have an abbreviation maintained for this GUI, which stands for graphical user interface. If you want to log into SAP logon pad or SAP GUI need to be installed. And this is how it is going to be looking. That's the one, SAP logon. Okay, so double click on it. A new window is going to be getting opened up over here, where you're going to be finding list of servers. On which server you need to work, your basis team is going to be providing you that data. So you need to select the server and you need to log in. And if you want to know the properties of any particular server, select that server, right click on it, you're going to be finding an option called as properties. So try to click on this particular properties, you're going to be getting this data. Now this is the information what you need to get it from the basis department. Okay, these are what we try to call it as server credentials, server details. You need to get this data. And right now I'm just trying to log in. Double click on it. This will be taking us to the welcome screen. This is how the welcome screen is going to be looking. And this page is common for both the people, for consultants and end user. If you're trying to log through GUI, this is going to be the same screen. So here you're going to be finding client number. This is nothing but SAP system number. Right now, we are having access to work with 220 client, but in real time, this client IDs are going to be changed. Okay, there is nothing but SAP system number. And here we try to put down username and a password to log in. So here I'm just trying to maintain my username and password to log into the system. And here I'm trying to select the language. So we are logging into SAP in English language. If you want to log in any other language, you can put down that particular language code and you can log in. So it's not that you need to log in only English. You can log in multiple languages. And click on enter. This will be taking us to the page. We name this as SAP Easy Access page. We call it as SAP Easy Access page, front-end application of SAP. So these are a few things what you need to know. SAP Easy Access. We are going to be calling it as front-end application. We are going to be calling it as front-end application. Now, who will be working on this front-end? End users. Okay. So in the real time, end users will be given access to work on this particular front-end application. Please remember that. So this is going to be the screen where they try to record master data, they try to record transaction data, and they are going to be executing reports as well on this particular screen. Easy access. Okay, there is a place where they try to work. As a consultant, we are not going to be working on this particular page. This particular screen is going to be provided for end users to work. Okay. Now, how you get into the backend? So to get into the backend, we are going to be taking the help of commands. Okay. So if you want to navigate to a particular screen, we try to take the help of commands. So in SAP terms, we are not going to be calling it as commands. We are trying to call it as transaction codes, or in short, we name it as T codes. And the length of the T code is going to be maximum of 4 letters. For few, it is 5 letters, but not more than that. Okay. So do we need to remember? Yes. In SD module itself, we are having more than 5,000 plus transaction codes to work. And it is going to be difficult to remember. So we just try to make sure how many we can learn. We try to do that. Because in interviews, no one will be asking transaction codes you're going to be using. That is only relaxation you're going to be having in the interview. Okay. So the first transaction code which I'm trying to put down is called as SPR, where this SPR stands for SAP Reference Project Objects. Okay. Or you can call it as a SAP Project Reference Object as well. Okay. So that's the first T code. So if you want to get into the backend from SAP Easy Access page, you need to enter that particular T code in this particular box. So we are going to be calling this one as command box. Okay. So enter transaction code. So you can enter the transaction code in small letters, capital letters, it will be accepted. So try to click on enter. This is how the page is going to be looking. So this page is what we are going to be calling it as project page. We are going to be calling it as project page. So whatever project has been allocated to you, you need to select that particular project and you need to click on SAP reference IMG to get into the backend. Okay. So every project will be having a project name. So all that information is going to be provided to you in the project. So you need to select the project. You need to click on SAP reference IMG. This will be taking us to the backend application. And this is a backend application name, display IMG screen. And this is a place where as a consultant, we are going to be working. We don't train end users how to work on this particular page. This is a page, display IMG. Now, when we try to talk about this particular page, so first thing, I'm just trying to put down some notes over here. This will be under the control of SAP Consultants. Okay, this will be under the control of SAP Consultants, where we try to build SAP application. The entire development activities will be done on this particular page. And we have an abbreviation maintained for this IMG, where this IMG stands for Implementation Guide. IMG stands for Implementation Guide. So all consultants are going to be working over here. Let it be SD, MM, FICO, PP, QM, HR. This is a place where they try to work. And each module will be having a specific place in the backend to work. So here, this is a place where we try to work. Sales and distribution. And if you want to know what the sales and distribution module is all about, there is a documentation available. You can hit on this particular documentation. You can read it. Notes has been published by SAP. Or if you want to get into the details, expand the notes. If you want to get into the details, expand the notes. If you double click on it, you can't get into it. Try to expand the notes. You're going to be finding the options over here. And under basic functions, if you try to expand, these are all going to be the topics on which you're going to be getting trained on. These are all the topics on which you're going to be getting trained on. Okay. So this is where, as an SD consultant, we are going to be working. In the same way, MM consultant will be working in that respective area. In the same way, LE consultant will be working in that respective area. So this is a place where we try to build the application. Display IMG screen is what we call it as. And from this particular backend, if you want to get into the front end, click on this back option. So click on this back option, we'll land up in this particular page. Try to click on this back option, we'll land up in easy access page. Again, from easy access, if you want to get into the backend, so execute transaction code SPR, click on SAP reference IMG, and it will be taking us to the backend. Okay. So I'm just trying to put down how we are going to be preparing the documents in the real time. So first, we try to log in SAP Easy Access page. In SAP Easy Access, we try to execute a transaction code called as SPR. After that, we try to basically go for selecting a project, and then we try to click on SAP reference IMG. And this will be taking us to display IMG screen. And under display IMG screen, we are going to be working under sales and distribution. Okay, that's how we are going to be writing it. This is what we are going to be calling it as navigation path. Okay, this is what we are going to be calling it as navigation path. So when you prepare documentations in the real time, you need to put down the path on which page you have started working on. Now, for example, I'm just trying to show you a documentation, how it will be looking. So here you will be seeing this path. Okay. So where exactly you went to work on that. So you need to put down the path and you need to prepare the documentations. So for that, you need to know how to get into the path, how to write the path. So you follow the same thing when you do your practice as well. Okay. Now, apart from this, what else you need to know? Now see, right now I'm open only one window to work. This is the only window what I've opened up. If you want to open more windows to work, do multitasking at a time. We can do that. So try to take the help of a transaction code called as /O. Is a T code. If you want to open up a new session or a new window, /O is going to be taken up as a T code. Yeah. So just try to click on enter. Already one window has been opened. If you want to open up a second window, click on this create option. A new window will be getting open. This is my second window, which has been opened now. Okay. Like this, how many windows you want to work? You can, because in this particular access, what I'm going to be providing you, there is no restriction maintained. Normally in the real time, at a time, you can work with only 6 windows, not more than 6 windows. Okay. So this is going to be one transaction code. Try to remember it. /O, we call it as. This basically use it to open a new window, or you can call it as a session. And if you want to close any particular window, you can click on it. You will be exited from that window itself. And remaining active windows will be available. Again, if you want to open up a new window, try to click on /O. Click on create. A new window will be getting opened up over here. Okay, there's my second window, what has been done. And if you want to exit from all windows at a time, so let's say we are having 3 active windows. You want to exit from all these windows at a time. You can run a transaction code called as /NEX. So try to click on /NEX. We will be kicked off from that particular SAP application itself. So there's going to be another one, /NEX, to exit from all windows or all sessions. /NEX. This is going to be the T code for that. Yeah. So this is a small introduction to your SAP system. Now, I'm just trying to show you one more thing. So let me try to log in. Enter the username and I'm entering the password. Oh, I've entered the wrong password. Now, here, when you're trying to work on the system, you're going to be finding different types of messages to work. You're going to be having different types of messages. One, we are going to be calling it as error message. Second, warning message. Third, success message. And fourth, we are going to be calling it as information message. These are the 4 different messages we have in SAP: error, warning, success, information. So always these error messages are going to be red in color. Warning messages are going to be yellow in color. Success will be green in color. And information messages are going to be in the form of pop-ups. Or you can call it as a dialog box. You're going to be calling it as a dialog box. These are the 4 different types of messages you are going to be working on SAP. So right now we got an error message. We can't go ahead. So I'm just trying to make sure I enter the right password. So if you are trying to enter password wrongly for more than 3 times continuously, your user name is going to be getting blocked. You need to put a request to the basis and they are going to be releasing it. Okay, so when you're working, make sure you enter the right password. Click on enter. Now you can see we got an information message saying that we have entered the wrong password for one time. So just try to click on enter and we'll land up in easy access page. Okay, so this is the thing you need to know. Types of messages which are going to be supported in SAP when you're trying to work. And apart from this, what else you need to know? How you are going to be finding technical details of SAP system. If I give you an SAP system, you must be in a position to find out what is the name of the application you're trying to work. What is the name of SAP application? Whether you are given access to work on ECC application or S/4HANA application, and what is the version? You need to have that particular knowledge and how you're going to be finding that. That is what we are going to be discussing. And apart from that, you need to have a good knowledge with the database, because your application, whatever data you're going to be putting down in the application, will be stored in the database. What is the name of the database you're going to be using for storing that values? So you need to know name of the application, you need to know name of the database and how to find that. So once you log in, you're going to be finding a menu bar. We try to call this as a menu bar. Under this menu bar, try to click on systems. Try to click on systems from the menu bar and you're going to be finding an option called as status. You're going to be finding an option called as status. Click on it. Click on the status. A new window will be getting opened up. So here you are going to be finding the client, username, language, when was my previous login, how many times I've entered the wrong password continuously, all that information will be shown up. Okay, and apart from that, if you want to know the technicalities of the system, you're going to be finding this option, SAP system data. You're going to be finding this option, SAP system data. And under that, you have this particular field, product versions. So if you want to see what is the application which has been installed, try to click on details. So try to click on details, a new window will be getting opened up over here. And try to click on installed product versions. Click on installed product versions. And over here, you're going to be finding the name of the application on which you're going to be working. So here you can see S/4HANA. This is going to be the name of the application. Please remember that. S/4HANA. Okay. And the release 2022 release. Okay. So the latest release what we have is 2025 release, which has been newly introduced in the market. So you will be given access for 2022 or 2025, which one is available. Based on that, we are going to be providing you the access. And when we try to talk about this S4, S4 stands for Simplified Business Suite for HANA. S4 stands for Simplified Business Suite for HANA. Okay, so this is the name. And version is going to be 2022 release. So that is the information. You can find it over here. Yeah. And if you want to find out the name of the database, just try to close this window. If you try to scroll down, you're going to be finding database. and name of the database has been maintained as HDB. HDB, where H stands for HANA database. So this is the name of the database you're going to be working, HANA. So please remember, S/4HANA is going to be different. HANA is going to be different. S/4HANA is the name of the application. Name of the database, we call it as HANA, where this HANA stands for High Performance Analytic Appliance. High Performance Analytic Appliance. Okay. So where H has been picked up over here, AN has been picked, and from appliance, A has been picked. This is how it has been put down. H, AN, and A. So this is a property of SAP. And this particular database was launched in the year 2011. Okay. First database was launched, then only application was built. So before 2011, we were using third-party databases. SAP was not having their own database. We were using third-party databases for storing the information. But SAP came out with a new database in the year 2011, which has been totally built using modern technology. And high capacity of RAMs has been put down for execution of the data for processing. And this particular database has been designed based on row plus column format. If a database is designed based on row plus column format, what exactly happens? Transaction recordings will be faster. So system will be taking small amount of time for storing the data into SAP, and report generations will be faster. Report execution will be faster. So system again will be taking small amount of time to read the values and display the data in the form of reports. Okay. So when you're trying to use traditional databases, that was totally designed on row format. So if database is designed on row format, transaction recording will be faster, but report execution is going to be slow. If database is designed on row plus column format, transaction recording will be fast, report generation also will be fast. So that is the reason SAP came out with this new database called as HANA. Now, when you're trying to work out with S/4HANA, you're going to be having two deployment options. You're going to be having two deployment options when you're working on S/4HANA. One, we are going to be calling it as on-premise. We try to call it as on-premise edition. And second, we are going to be calling it as on-cloud. Okay. So on-premise means SAP system infrastructure. SAP servers. In simple terms, SAP servers. This SAP system infrastructure will be maintained at business location. Which companies want to use SAP for storing their data? The entire systems are going to be maintained at their premises. That means data center. Every company will be having their own data center. Whereas when you're trying to work on cloud, this total SAP system infrastructure will be maintained at SAP location. So we don't require any kind of physical infrastructure maintain our location. So SAP will be taking care of it. Okay, the data center will be maintained at SAP location. Okay, so based on that, your costing also will be getting varied. Okay. Again, in cloud, you're going to be having two variants. One, we are going to be calling it as private cloud, and second one, we call it as public cloud. You're going to be having private cloud, second one, public cloud. So when you're trying to work out with private cloud over here, infinite customizations. Okay, so how much customizations you want to do, you can. Whereas when you're trying to work out with public cloud, zero customization. You just need to use the standard solution what SAP has provided. If you want to develop any new solution, it is not going to be possible. In private cloud, you can develop the solution. You can develop the solution. So in on-premise, infinite customization. So how you want to design the application, you can do that. So infinite customization is available on-premise, private cloud. Here, zero customizations. You just need to use the standard solution what SAP has provided. So depending upon the features, what business want to use, we are going to be suggesting them. And that will be handled entirely by your SAP basis. They take care of it. Okay. So right now my server is at my location. So we are working with on-premise edition. Okay. And you will be given access to the same servers on which I'm trying to work. So apart from this, I want to introduce another screen. So end users will be given access to work with a different screen as well. Apart from easy access, they will be given access to work on another screen, which we are going to be calling it as SAP Fiori. There's going to be a new screen, and this will be under the control of end users. So again, consultants will be not working on it. It is going to be end users who will be working on it. And they will be using this Fiori apps. This is totally based on apps. Okay, there will be a lot of apps which will be given for the end users to work. And this Fiori, they can log using laptop, desktop, mobile, tab. Okay, this is nothing but your GUI. This is going to be Fiori app. You will be provided with a web link address, web-based application. So you can log into SAP using that web-based. You will be provided with a link, you can log in. And if you want to log in directly from GUI to Fiori, you can also do that. For that, you need to use a transaction code called as /n/UI2/FLP. There's going to be the T code from GUI if you want to log into the Fiori. So I'm just trying to log into that. /n/UI2/FLP. And once you click on enter, you're going to be finding this particular link. So try to click on allow option over here. I'm just trying to get into it. That's how it's going to be looking. Okay, so same username and the password. So select the language in which you want to log in and try to click on log on. So you're going to be find apps getting displayed up. So to which user, what app access need to be provided for reports, for transaction data recording, for master data recording, it can be done. Okay. And it is going to be highly customizable. My Fiori apps are a little bit slow for loading it. It takes some time. So right now I'm having only one app which has been put down, which is going to be used for data migrations. So I need to load the apps over here. So in our course, we are going to be looking into it. So how we are going to be recording the transaction using Fiori application, I'm going to be putting down that so that you can know how to work on this Fiori. So in the real time nowadays, we are trying to train the users how to use Fiori application itself for recording of master data, transaction data, execution of the reports, and data analysis. We have beautiful dashboards which has been provided. by SAP. So we are trying to train the users on this particular thing itself. So there are lot of things what we need to put down. I'm going to be explaining how we are going to be loading the apps over here, because I need to put down the roles which need to be assigned to my username. So based on that, apps are going to be getting loaded. As we go on, I'm going to be demonstrating that particular thing as well. Okay, if you want to exit, try to sign out and you will be exited. So this is going to be a small introduction to your system, how you try to log in and how you're going to be working on it. Okay. So in my next session, I'm going to be showing you how you're going to be recording the transactions, a small walkthrough of this order to cash cycle, how it is going to be performed. I'm going to be explaining that, and we try to get into sales and distributions. First chapter. Okay. So this is what I want to do it up in today's session, giving you a good understanding of how the system is going to be working, the screens on which consultant is going to be working, and end user. So I'm just trying to stop it over here for today. We're trying to meet up tomorrow and continue with the rest of the things, please. Thank you, guys.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.